Hello, hello, and welcome back to another edition of Afternoon Drive here on WJOP Radio. My name is Drew Moholland, and a good Tuesday afternoon. The sun is out in Newburyport. Isn't that a very nice thing after yesterday's, monsoon and, worse than that? It was terrible. Those marathon runners were quite the troopers there. I knew a few people running, and, I don't know. Great job by everybody who did the marathon out there and all the workers. It was an ugly, ugly day. Tough day to do anything outside in Boston, even the spectators. I know my sister went into the marathon and she said you just wouldn't have believed what it was like, even just standing out there on the side of Boylston. I think she was on maybe ComAv. Yeah, I can't remember exactly what she was on, but she doesn't always do the end of the race. But it was ugly out there yesterday, and so congratulations to everybody who finished. I know this is a big running area too, so I'm guessing we probably had some Newburyport folks and folks in the towns and cities around here that were running. So. Very, very exciting. Thank you, David. David Kramer on the TV side here, making some adjustments. Hello to everybody streaming on the television as well, watching on TV and streaming on YouTube. Don't forget you can watch us at the Port Media YouTube site as well in real time, and then we'll post the show afterwards. And you can also follow us at Joppa Radio, at Joppa Afternoons on Twitter. That's at Joppa Afternoons, Joppa. And if you have any questions for our guests at any time during any show, feel free to do that. We do the show every Tuesday and Thursday, 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock. The goal is to just get interesting guests in the house, and we have done that again today. For the second consecutive Tuesday, it's going to be a bit of a music show. We got some local musicians in the house. Chuck Rotondi and John Curtis are here. They have a local band. You may know these guys. If you don't know them, you will know them by the time we're done here today. So very exciting. I just got some music to listen to on the way in, so I get a good feel for what the sound is we're talking about here. Let's see, in the sports world, I wanted to mention too. Bruins gave a game back to the Maple Leafs last night. Celtics in action tonight. Red Sox, they play that Rotondi kid tonight, the pitcher for Anaheim. So that should be good. You think you got to stay up late for it though? It's like a 10 o'clock first pitch. So yeah, if you got early morning hours like me, you have no chance. But that should be fun on the West Coast tonight. So we got Chuck and John in the house. A couple Newburyport musicians. They live right here in the city. So they came on by. They're ready to go. Locked in and loaded, so let's do that. Enough about me. We'll take our first quick break here. When we get back, we'll bring these guys in, and we'll have a little fun. Keep it here. My name is Drew Moholland. It's Afternoon Drive on Joppa Radio. All right, welcome on back to Afternoon Drive here on Joppa Radio. My name is Drew Moholland. Thanks for joining us a little bit here on a Tuesday afternoon. Knock Rotondi and John Curtis are in the house, and if you're just talking about you, Chuck. First things first, you are you're known to be a lawyer in town as well. So maybe somebody has that's the rumor.
It's my day job. That's how I make some money. My therapy is playing music with my buddies.
Your therapy.
Every chance I get.
Yes, and one of those buddies is John Curtis, who's in the house here today.
Correct.
John, good to meet you. I'm going to ask you to grab the microphone when you talk to, just make sure we pick up the voice there.
There we go.
Good to have you in the house.
Thank you.
Give us a little background about yourself there.
Full-time musician, graduated from Boston University with a degree in history, and then said, geez, I was playing in bands and doing all that stuff, and I said, I think if I want to be a musician, I should try it now, because I don't think I want to be sleeping in the van when I'm 45, So I went out and, started auditioning, playing with different people. Ended up with this group called the Poussette Dart Band, and we had 4 records on Capitol.
Oh, nice.
We toured all over the country, mostly in the 70s, late 70s, mid to late 70s.
Wow.
And then been just doing studio work, and I have a teaching studio in downtown Newburyport. The Curtis Studio, there you go.
There you go. Good call to wear the hat.
and been up here for about 35 years, and continue to play with these guys. They're my peeps. Fun. And I've had other bands. I'll play at the Newburyport Brewing Company. Sometimes I play at Loretta, the restaurant downtown, just solo, just to keep my hands in it.
Yeah. You always got the guitar on you too?
Yeah.
Just a traveling guitar?
Super glued to my stomach.
Chuck, how'd you guys meet and bring the group together?
John, my 40th birthday. Yes, I am over 40.
Yeah. Well, thank you for giving it away.
My wife bought me a guitar, and she bought me a guitar at my 40th birthday, and signed me up with lessons with John Curtis. I think at the time, there were two other bandmates. Our band was just being born at that time. Our band was, we were just a bunch of friends. We used to play basketball together when we were younger. Yep. And the bodies told us that was no longer possible. So we started playing music. Brian Young, a lead vocalist from West Newbury, who sang all through high school in bands. And we have a great rhythm guitar player and mandolin player, Joe Casey. We used to start practice in Joe's shop. It was called Thomas Machine Works, was the name of his shop in Newburyport.
Still there.
And yeah, and we're still there. And we'd literally smell like sheet metal after we practiced on Monday nights. And then Lark Madden, the local guy from West Newbury, keyboard player, great lead guitar player. Singer, he can do it all. And then Joe Peterson, who could play anything also, but plays bass for our band. And I play the drums by default.
Yes.
There was no drummer, and I decided I could do that.
Very good. You got the drum kit in the basement, or?
No, actually, we're blessed to have a little a band room.
Oh, nice.
It's like Joe Casey owns the units, and we go there every Monday night. Everything's already set up. We just walk in, hit a switch, and we play. John joins us whenever he can. Wow. When we gig out, John plays a lot with us, and primarily we're doing a lot of charity work.
Yep.
We played a few weeks back at Blue Ocean Music Hall for the Pettingill House.
Oh, nice.
And we do that every year.
Yeah. You do the West Newbury Concert Series.
Yes, the West Newbury Summer Concert Series, I've been active in that for about 15 years now. Brian Young, a lead vocalist, and myself run that Summer Concert Series.
Oh, nice.
Every Thursday night from 6:30 to 8 o'clock, West Newbury Bandstand, which is on Bachelor Street. 6:30 to 8 o'clock on Thursday nights, free shows.
Wow.
And we try to hire musicians from all over the Northeast, including some outside. Sleepy LaBeef comes to mind. That's another story. John will be playing this year for us.
Cool.
And we try to mix it up. But it's a lot of fun, and we invite anybody out there who wants to hear some great music every Thursday night. Bring a picnic.
It's a great slice of Americana.
It really
you
is.
go there. Sorry. You go there.
Keep swinging the microphone in your face.
I know. You know, you show up, and there's the West Newbury Fire Department that are cooking up dogs and burgers and sausage subs, and you know, they always have like homemade cookies, and then there's a little league game going on, and people sitting in lawn chairs listening to music. It's like, okay, this is America.
So when does that kick into gear? When does that kick into gear?
Usually after.
So it'll be last week in June this year, I believe.
Last week in June, yeah. I think the snow should be gone by then, right?
Yeah, end of June through the end of August.
Okay.
Usually.
Cool. Well, that's exciting.
Every Thursday night.
You've also made me hungry since I skipped lunch today. With that. But so that's cool. So is Monday kind of like the practice gig, Chuck?
That was always our Monday night get together when we played basketball together. Yeah. It was a boys' night out, and then it became band practice.
Yep.
And we started by just meeting 3 or 4 or 5 of us.
Was it too many guys getting hurt at basketball?
Exactly what happened. Exactly what happened. It was time for a change.
Yeah.
But we didn't want to give up the every week friendship that we had. And these guys are like brothers to me, all of them.
I say that laughing because the people at home know that I am standing on a broken toe right now for basketball.
Oh,
so yes. So yeah. That's always fun, the basketball injuries, but that's cool. So, big summer slate ready for you guys. What's it like doing is it a nice release being a lawyer in the daytime and then being able to go play some music at night?
Absolutely. I think everybody needs that in their life. I mean, there are times, of course, I love what I do still, but there are times when you have your bad days. What I do every day.
Life's always not easy being a lawyer, huh?
No, and I share those human experiences from a lot of people who have had difficult times.
Yeah.
So I do need something to escape from that every now and then. Music has been my therapy literally for years. And then met John, started taking lessons. I actually started writing music in my early 40s when I had my guitar.
Yep.
And even today, when I write a song, I'll go down and talk to John, and he's the master. And he'll sit down with me in 10 minutes. And
I pay him well.
and then we have a song that makes some sense. So
cool. And
enjoy doing that.
And John, how about you? What do people not know about the life of a musician? What's the behind the scenes story, if you will, that
you know,
one that's radio friendly?
Yeah. Well, the thing about music now is it's just omnipresent. Wherever you go, there's music. You buy shoes, there's music. You go to the doctor's office, there's music. You go anywhere. So people are just used to music being around. And one thing, I'll go see a concert. For example, I just went to the Firehouse and saw this wonderful mandolin player, a woman named Sierra Hull. She's like 26, just world class, one of probably the best mandolin players in the world. So she's there with a bass player, just her and a bass player all night long, and they're playing. And it was a sold-out show. It was good, but it was $30. And I thought, here's somebody who could be on the stage with anybody in any concert hall and hold their own. Yeah. And you're getting just sit 30 feet away from them for $30. Yeah. Not that. I'm glad I got to pay, only that much money.
You feel like you're stealing.
I think people see musicians play, most people, and they just, okay, they're good, they're playing, it's fine, that's great. They don't realize everything that went behind it, the years and years and years of just working and working it out. I mean, I love it. That's why I do it. It's, as I have told Chuck and other people, it's like being married to someone like you can't get divorced from. Yeah. Your music is just party.
Yeah. And that firehouse is a great venue, isn't it? Nice and small. And
blessed to have that, aren't we?
Yeah. No, it's great. It's great. They're starting to get some really, really good talent.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a show a few years back. Jonathan Edwards, one of my favorite male vocalists, and John and he know each other pretty well. Yeah. And John got up and played mandolin with him at the firehouse.
Nice.
It was amazing. It was a great show.
That is fun. Well, we get the, when we take our first break here, guys, you want to play a little something there? You got something in the back pocket to take us to break here?
Yeah, let's go Red Sox.
And the drums. John Curtis. We'll have more with John Curtis and Chuck Rotondi in just a moment. Keep it here. It's Afternoon Drive on Joppa Radio. All right, welcome back, folks, to Afternoon Drive here on Joppa Radio. My name is Drew Moholland. We had a little Take Me Out to the Ball game from John Curtis and Chuck Rotondi playing a little drums here. We didn't have room for the drum set in the house. Sorry about that, Chuck, but maybe when we get the bigger studio. But very appropriate. John, does this mean you're a Red Sox fan here, or a baseball fan? Or?
Yeah. Grew up watching the Red Sox, perennially finished in 3rd or 4th place, in my basement while I was practicing guitar.
That's right. Yep. Times have changed a little bit. I had to pay my dues a bit there early on. I saw the Aaron Boone home run, and I remember my my uncle and my grandfather saying to me, "Well, now you get it. Now you're a true Red Sox fan. You've had the heartbreak."
Yeah, exactly.
I got younger cousins though, even like young high school cousins who don't really know it's all been championships for many years.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, even since '67, they sort of kind of competed. But I mean, when I was a kid, it was just, I mean, they were drawing like 8,000 people. Yeah. 10,000 people on a good game. Yeah. I went with the Cub Scouts, I remember, and we sat, of course, the cheapest seats way out in right field. I remember looking around thinking, there's not a lot of people.
Yeah. It's funny. It's kind of an issue they're saying is baseball attendance here so far in the early season. Attendance is down across the league, which is interesting. I don't know. It could be maybe northeast weather hasn't been great, so that's not helping. Hasn't. But kind of tough to go to a baseball game and weather like we had yesterday.
35 and raining. Yes. Yeah.
That was something, was it? You guys catch the marathon at all?
Yeah.
Radio on the way back. I was driving. I was driving from Southborough, which is right next to the Start. Yep. Met a lot of people the night before at a little Irish pub who were running the next day. It was pretty cool.
In that neck of the woods?
Yeah, they were staying in hotels in the entire area, getting ready for the marathon.
Gotcha. I lived in Hudson for a few years, right next door. I probably know the place. What place you stay at?
Well, my fiance is in Southborough, so that's where I stay. Yep. But Hudson.
What bar was it? Some good little food joints out there.
There's two of them in Southborough. One's in Westborough, one's in Southborough. This was in Westborough.
Westborough, okay.
O'Leary's.
O'Leary's. Yeah, I think I know it. I don't think I ever been in.
That's a good bet for an
Sunday
Irish
night
bar.
$9.99 Sunday night specials. And, full meal. It's great. It's a great place. A lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. It's a little.
O'Leary's is the name of the place.
Oh yes, I definitely know it now that you say it that way. Yeah, it's been a few years. I really enjoyed my time out there. It was a nice place to live, Hudson, for a while.
Yeah.
Nice to be back closer to home and where the family is and all that, but
Sure.
Usually nicer. But makes the holidays easier. So anyways, we a couple local musicians here, Chuck Rotondi, John Curtis. What's the toughest part about putting a group of guys together? You practice every Monday, but it's not like you get to always be there playing every day together and gelling. Is there ever some days where you're like, boys, we don't sound very good right now. How do we pull this thing together here?
Retire for a drink. And,
that always helps.
Come back next week.
Give it a try next time.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we ever really know if it sounds that bad because we're playing amongst ourselves. There's nobody to criticize us. But yeah, we'll have a few drinks with band practice, and that helps out certainly. But the other part of it is, and John and I were joking about this. He told us years ago, in order to stay together, never have a band meeting because once you have a band meeting, it's going to break up.
I love that line. Yeah.
And we never had a band meeting in 20 plus years.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So that means people have to mostly be on time and try to keep commitments of showing up and that sort of thing.
People drift in and out, but it's just fun. It's just that's
what it's all about.
This band is. It's not.
So it's all about fun.
It's just having a good time.
If you don't know it by now, we're never going to know it. I mean, sometimes we literally won't practice before a gig. We'll have maybe one practice before a gig.
Wow.
And a few people complain about that, but in the end, you're together 20 years. You're playing a lot of music, but
yeah,
you're pretty tight after 20 years.
You kind of know what the other people are going to do.
Riding a bike a little bit. Yeah, well, that's true. I was listening to that. Did you write most of that music on that CD you gave me there, Chuck?
I did write all that music.
All the music, yeah.
John helped me with a couple of those songs, certainly. Blue Lights Blues.
Yep.
Was a song, one of the first songs I ever wrote, and it was based upon my human experience as a trial attorney, and as a prosecutor, I used to try a lot of DWI
that makes
cases.
Sense. Yeah.
So the first line is, "I should have gone home, but the beer just changed my mind." So it's a great country tune, and I remember going to John with it and working it out with him.
Help craft it a little bit.
Yeah, he always does. So, oh my God.
Put my country hat on.
Yeah, you guys definitely have a little the folky country thing going on there with a lot of that.
Yeah, well, Brian loves the country music.
He does.
He likes a big Hank Williams fan. The old country, I should say.
The old country, yes. Yeah, the new country's a little bit different, isn't it? It's,
I mean, there are some talented people. You can't take that away from them. But it's more like the Eagles kind of were doing what new country's doing now.
Yeah.
30 years ago.
Yeah.
So new country's sort of more rock than country, I think.
Yeah.
Or rock music with hats.
With hats, yes. And pickup trucks. A lot of pickup trucks.
Trucks, yeah.
Yes,
but it's definitely talented. If you've been to Nashville, that's the one thing you find is you go down there, because we recorded down there a bunch, and when I was at the Pizza Hut Band, and man, there are some great musicians.
Yeah.
And I mean great, can play anything.
Yeah.
Jazz, no problem. Yes, classical, they've got a terrific symphony, and just so, people say, "Oh, it's just country." That's those people can't. Well, I hate to tell you, they can really play.
Yeah. I have to do Nashville. Everybody who goes says they love it, and they say I would love it. There's live music in every bar you walk by.
Yeah, I mean, there's tourist traps, but it's a real cosmopolitan city. There's a couple of colleges down there, and
compared to anything, is it kind of a life of its own?
It's sort of its own. It's more of a southern city, but definitely has a northern feel.
Yeah.
Like I said, because the colleges and the music, the arts, there's a big arts and music presence.
Yep.
But then again, you can go out and get some terrific southern cooking.
There you go. Absolutely. And so the songwriting thing started this conversation, and either one of you guys can take the mic on this one. What is the process to writing a song? Is it I always like to ask, what comes first, the music or the lyrics, or?
Well, you may want to address that first. I know how I do it. Yeah. I was an English major in college, and I used to hear, if poetry does not come as naturally as the leaves to a tree, then it better not have come at all. So you like to have it just come to you, and sometimes it does.
Yep.
And I find some of my writing takes place after I've been through an emotional experience of some kind that has an impact on my life. Blue Lights Blues was not one of those, but it was just something I do every day for a living, and it was a fun, upbeat song. Every now and then I would try to challenge myself and to write a song for a specific purpose, which I think is more challenging for me personally. Father of the Bride is a song I wrote actually for Brian Young, a lead vocalist, and my best friend Jim. Their daughters were both getting married, so I wanted to craft a father-daughter dance song.
Yep.
And that's how Father of the Bride was born.
Nice.
That song, wrote the lyrics, had an idea of the melody, went to see John, and then we went into studio, John and I, and we did it together. He played everything on that. What'd you play? You played bass, you played acoustic, you played electric guitar, and then we did harmonies together for the song. It's just he and I, and the studio is still here in Newburyport.
Yeah.
Right?
Tom Eaton's.
Tom Eaton Studio. He does a great job.
Wow. Okay.
It's called now Universal Noise Storage. That's
Is that what it's
Universal Noise Storage.
yeah.
called? I did not know that.
So that's cool. You got these emotional ties to these songs. Then there was the Blue Lights Blues, and then there was the one right next to it. There was another like crime or judge-related song. This is it's all making sense now that you're a lawyer too.
There was another one from my courtroom days. It was called Conspiracy. Which starts, not guilty was my plea, as the judge stared down at me.
That's the one.
Dazed and confused, he was not amused to be charged with a felony.
There you
That's
go.
how it starts. You remember that one? You did that with me too.
That was a long
It was
time
a really rough song. We never fully finished it off, but you played guitar on that.
There's a great. It's so funny. What goes around comes around. There's one of the early rock and roll pioneers was a guy named Wynonie Harris, he did There's Good Rockin' Tonight and a bunch of these things, but he had one of his well-known songs was a song called Good Morning Judge, and he's been brought in for all these offenses. You know, he's been at the bar and drinking too much, and he's caught, but he's with the judge's daughter, and that makes it interesting.
Feels like a Johnny Cash song or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a country R&B song. Very funny. Well, I was going to say one funny thing about music and lyrics. There's a great line, and I can't think of the songwriter, but somebody asked him, which comes first for you, the music or the lyrics? And he said, the phone call. You know, and this guy wrote for Sinatra and people like that. Yeah. So, you know, oh, well, Frank needs a ballad for blah, blah, blah. Okay. And I think for me, the songs that I've written, lots of times that's helpful.
Yeah.
You know, it gives you a purpose. I need to hear a song. I want a song about blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Not like, I'm just going to sit here and say, oh, the microphone. Oh, I like the microphone. You know. So that's one of my favorite quotes, which I think is really true. Wow.
Yeah, it's funny. Even you ask the people at the top of the game right now, making the millions. You hear them ask that question, and it never seems to be one or the other. It's always some sort of long answer that's not that simple, you know. But
sometimes you wake up with a great idea.
Yeah,
you know?
it comes to your head.
Yeah,
and I used to keep a. I was one tip you gave me or someone gave me. You keep a little tape recorder in my hand, and I'd be driving down the road, and I'd have a song come to my mind, and I'd just speak into the mic or sing into it, and I'd go back because otherwise you're going to forget it. It happens a lot in the morning. You're going to forget things.
That was your idea, John. You told them to keep the tape recorder.
Yeah. Well, I tell people that all the time because what happens, I know with me, I'll get an idea and I'll think, oh, that's kind of cool. I'll remember that. 5 minutes later, literally, I go turn on some kind of recorder. It's totally gone.
It's gone.
Yeah, that's why having these phones is terrific because you can just go bang.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you ever wake up out of a night's sleep and you get something there and you need to pull the recorder out from under the pillow or something?
Not lately.
Well, that means you're sleeping well. Very good.
That's right.
All right, let's do this. We'll take the second break. Do you got one of the originals on there? I know you said you hadn't played one of those in a while, but you got anything in your back pocket there that you want to take us to break with?
Why don't you just play something that you like to play instrumental?
Oh man.
Yeah, we'll make it John's request.
Well, this is not an original. Everybody. There you go.
Very nice. We'll take one more quick break, folks. We'll be back in just a moment with Chuck Rotondi and John Curtis on guitar. My name is Drew Moholland. It is Afternoon Drive on Joppa Radio. All right, welcome on back to Afternoon Drive here on Joppa Radio. My name is Drew Moholland. Thank you guys so much for spending your Tuesday afternoon with us here on the radio and on the television as well. Hello, hello.
Hello.
We're joined by a couple of Newburyport musicians, Chuck Rotondi and John Curtis. Chuck is also a lawyer in town on State Street, you said, Chuck, right?
Yes, 79 State.
79 State Street. There you go. So if you have gotten in any trouble or foresee yourself getting in any trouble, go see Chuck. I'm just kidding, of course. Stay out of trouble. But we've had a fun little day here. Second Tuesday in a row, we've had a nice little music edition here, so that's good. We were actually just talking about some music during the break. Influences, I think we got a few of them that crossed John. We got Willie Nelson, Neil Young, all these guys. Van Morrison, we just talked about, it's coming to town.
Yeah. I've obviously been listening to music since I was a kid. I grew up, I was part of the folk scare, as they call it, in the 60s. I got a banjo when I was 10.
Yeah.
That's my first instrument. Because I heard it, I thought, that's cool.
Gonna be Pete Seeger?
Yeah, well, yeah. Kingston Trio, all these things. And then my brother played guitar at that point, and so I was learning guitar and banjo, and a neighbor had a mandolin, so I picked up the mandolin. And
so how many instruments are you playing these days?
pretty much all the fretted instruments. Fretted is, I don't know if this camera will pick it up, but on a guitar they have these little metal bars across the neck. Those are called frets, F-R-E-T. Yep. And that's when you play the string, you push it down, the frets mark off the notes, as opposed to a violin or a cello or something like that that's just smooth. And so you have to know where to put your fingers. Yeah. We guitar players are team. So I pretty much do all the fretted instruments.
Gotcha. I think people might be noticing there with that nice little camera shot. You don't have the pick, so that means you're picking away a little bit.
Right. I can use the pick too, but this is nylon string, so I'll do, the fingers. I was born with these guys.
The calluses and everything?
Calluses and everything, that's for sure.
That's the, what would you tell the kid? Because I know we got a lot of young people listening here, too. I picked up the guitar later in life, post-high school, college, I think I started playing, and very late college, too, which is very late. It's easier if you can start younger. But what would you tell the kid sitting at home right now who's looking for that hobby and not playing a sport and sitting at home doing nothing?
Well, you kind of know. I was in my basement playing brooms and mops, and I got I remember my parents got me a cheap pair of bongos, and they fell apart, and I remember hammering a piece of wood onto them and putting a string, and it was like, then my parents said, I think he should get a band. But a lot of people are playing the ukulele now, which was, for years considered, ukulele, my grandpa plays the ukulele. But now it's hip, and it's actually, I think it's a terrific thing because the basics for how to play are incorporated in the ukulele. It's only 4 strings, it's little, so if you can handle that, playing it, and Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam plays the ukulele. Yeah. So it's not like it's not.
He does solo shows and brings out the ukulele for a while.
And so I think that's a great way to start because they're inexpensive. You can sort of get the idea of what you're doing, and then from there you can go on. So my advice is go for it.
Go, and you got to toughen up those fingers. Don't get discouraged, right? When you literally start bleeding or whatever.
Yep, you're gonna not like it because this hurts.
It's the toughest part. Learn those early chords and toughen up the fingers.
Yeah. And you got to do what you love. That's the only reason I stuck with it, because I was just like, I want to do this. This is fun. I wasn't thinking about making $1 million. I still haven't made $1 million, but I got into music just because I got into it because I loved it.
Yeah, and you learn 3 chords. You can play,
3 songs.
3. Yeah.
Neil Young, exactly. The Ramones,
I'll give us a quick little lesson. Show that off there for the give somebody a little 3-chord song and show them what they could do.
Let's see. What's a 3-chord song? Let's do this land is your land, this land is my land. Da, 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 from Redwood F, da, 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 and was based you and me. Or your Ramones. on it 24 hours ago, etc., etc.
Exactly. I thought you were going to do every verse of "This Land Is Your Land." That was
all 9 verses. Yeah. Well,
remember the big concert they had for Barack Obama, when he won the election, and I forget what they called it, the inauguration, whatever that big concert is. You know, every celebrity in the world came out, and I remember Springsteen brought out Pete Seeger to end the show, and
they did a bunch.
They did a bunch, but they did "This Land Is Your Land," and I remember Pete Seeger or Bruce saying, "So Pete says to me, I'd love to do it. It's going to be great on one condition: we do "This Land Is Your Land" and we do every single verse." which I thought, and if you know that song, there's a lot of verses to that song.
Yeah, everybody knows 1.5 verses.
Yeah, everybody knows the beginning, but wow, that's a 20-minute song right there. But I thought that was very, very funny.
It is good.
But a lot of fun local places are out here to play, aren't there?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, like I said, I played the Brewing Company, but there's music at Glenn's. I play the Retta. There's a lot of places.
Blue Ocean Music Hall is a wonderful venue. We played there a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
As I said, I think I may have mentioned.
You did, yeah. For
the Pettingill House. I'm on the board at Pettingill. Wonderful service, by the way. Serve about 3,080 families in this Newburyport area.
Nice.
And that's our major fundraiser every year. 2 bands play, and we open up for another band this year, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
John's joined us a few times up there as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
But there's some great shows at Blue Ocean.
Yeah, that means a lot to you guys doing the raising the money for the community, doesn't it?
Oh, sure. It's what it's all about, and that's we are known as the free band, the charity band. We got this month. We want to raise some funds. Who do we call? Thomas Machine Works Band, TMWB.
They all have jobs.
So you wear that badge with pride, huh?
We sure do. We do enjoy it. If they throw some food and beer in, that's okay too.
Yeah. Yes, and that has to be the case, right?
Oh, yeah.
Very good. Well, John, I know you got to get running because you probably have a lesson to teach or something. Very good. So we'll let you do that. Why don't you give us one more on the way out? Chuck's going to stick around for the final segment, but it has been a pleasure. Thank you, John, for stopping by. We appreciate it.
Thank you, John.
Thank you so much.
Nice. John Curtis, thank you, sir. A great Newburyport musician, and go check him out next time he's in town. When can we see you again?
Probably Loretta at the end of this month. I'm not sure of the date, and I'll be at the Newburyport Brewing Company on May 24th.
There you go. Check him out. Good stuff. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with more Afternoon Drive. My name is Drew Moholland. Keep it here, WJOP Radio. All right, welcome on back to Afternoon Drive here on WJOP Radio. My name is Drew Moholland. Been another fun show here. John Curtis just taken off. Great guitar player here from Newburyport. And Chuck Rotondi, who those guys jam together and have a lot of fun playing music. Quite a guy there, that John.
Oh, he's the best guitar player I know. I mean, he's another level to what we are. We have fun. You know, we socialize. We play music, and we do serve the community when we can. But when he plays with us, everybody steps up a notch.
Yeah.
He's that good.
It must be fun.
Oh, it's a blast. It's a blast. We're very blessed to have him as a friend. And we tease him, we're his secret band. He doesn't want to admit it. But no, he's been coming out to most of our gigs and playing when he wants to.
That's great. And, is most of your stuff structured, or do you ever kind of look at John and he's feeling it? And why don't you take it away here for a minute?
We can do that, but we have a song list. Every gig we do will probably have 3 sets, 12 songs per set. Our lead singer Brian Young will come up with a set and will go over it with us before a gig, and then John shows up and he'll play with us. And it doesn't matter what it is; he'll play it.
Right.
and every now and then we'll be spontaneous.
A little
And
jam
that's
session.
Always fun. That's always fun. Yeah.
That is good. What's the any stories from the road for what like really got you hooked on the playing live thing? Because it is a unique thing. Not very few people can step out in front of a crowd and set a band off and just go do it like that. What got you into it?
Well, first of all, we don't play to thousands of people.
It doesn't matter if it's 100 or 1,000.
Well, I don't know. It's small venues. For me personally, because of what I do, I'm in court law. I tried many cases, so
Yeah.
I'm used to public exposure. But we started, the first things we were doing were barn parties. Our Lark Madden, who is our lead guitar player, has a barn in West Newbury, and we do this big barn party, and it grew and grew. So we'd have over 150 people there at the barn party. Most of us were from West Newbury at the time. And then we started this West Newbury Summer Concert Series. Brian and I took it over. We play there every year. So we do have a certain following. And I'm just comfortable because we know most of the people. Blue Ocean is a step up. That's a professional soundstage. So when we played there 6-7 years ago for the first time, we were all very nervous, I think.
Yeah.
And it is a little bit different, where everybody's tuned perfectly by a sound engineer out there.
Yep.
And you hear every mistake you make. So that's more challenging. But again, keep in mind, it's not about the band. It's about raising money for the Pettingill House.
Yeah.
And that's how I get through it.
There you go.
You know.
So the any tools that like, I mean, I think you just kind of hinted at it, being, you know, you're not scared of the public eye, but any tools from being a lawyer or a big case that you carry to the stage? Mindset tools or whatever?
Oh boy. I mean, we don't do Blue Lights Blues a lot,
Right.
but when I do that song, I think of many courtroom experiences, trying cases. I mean, I prosecuted for 4 years in the DA's office, and now I do a lot of defense work, mostly defense work, of course, in the criminal side. No, just I still enjoy the courtroom stuff, but I'll be honest, it's tolling on you emotionally after a while. And
I would
that's
think there'd
why
be a shelf life to a lot of that, huh?
There is. I mean, I've been doing it for 39 years. I still enjoy what I do, but what I tell my clients ask me that same question: how come you're still doing this? And well, life is all about balance. I really believe that, and I try to keep the music part of it.
Yep.
Very important part of my life. So you stay healthy and happy. Was
that a strategic shift to do the? I hit the wrong thing there. There we go. Fix the screen. Was that a strategic shift to do the? You switch from being a DA to a defense?
Well, I started as a public defender in the city of Boston for 2 years, representing all the indigents in the city. I was Boston Municipal Court. That was just a great training ground. I enjoyed what I was doing. It not only was great legal experience, but it was great human experience.
Yeah.
Because I saw a side of life that I never knew even existed.
Right.
I grew up in the suburb of Winchester, Massachusetts. Although I was the youngest of 13 children, believe me, we didn't have it easy growing up either. I worked very hard as a child.
Right.
But then the DA's office opportunity came up, and I jumped on it. And I worked in Lawrence District Court. I was the first DA in Lawrence in 1980 with 2 other friends, Michael Hickey and Kathy Morris Early, who is now a clerk magistrate here in Newburyport District Court, actually.
Wow.
And then I left the DA's office in '83 and went to private practice.
Wow.
So the trial work was for 6 years, and I use that now in my practice.
Yeah.
I don't just do criminal work. I mean, I do real estate, as I told you, estate planning, some personal injury work, and med-mal cases, but very selective about them.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, that's quite a history. What's the? It's not an easy road to becoming a lawyer. I know some younger folks right now. My sister-in-law's going for that. I wonder, and my sister-in-law's another sister-in-law is also an assistant DA. So it's a lot of work, I know, and a lot of sometimes some long hours, and it can be a tough job at times.
It can be a tough job, but when you're young, it's a time to do it.
Yep.
And the trial experience is just what it's all about, learning how to try cases.
How do you gear yourself up for a big court case? Is it like being what I would imagine a pro athlete? Like you really gear yourself up the night before? And
everybody's different. I mean, I literally brought stuff home. I worked at night. Some of my friends would just go in there and ad lib and get going because they're so good at it. I was always wanted to prepare as well as I could. Attorneys all prepare, but we prepare in different ways.
Yeah.
Some have a gift. Some have a gift being in a courtroom, and they're just wonderful with people.
Yeah.
or the judge.
Almost some like showmanship or something.
That's part of it. Yeah, you're an actor, or you're an attorney, but you also do other things. I mean, in the office, I'm a social worker. I'm a big brother. I'm a dad sometimes. That's one thing I love about my practice, because you don't just fight in court every day. You meet a lot of wonderful people,
right?
And you can help people, and that's what it's all about to me. Is helping people, making things better in their lives.
What would you tell the young lawyer maybe that has a case that maybe they they're conflicted on whether to defend it, or maybe they're forced to, I guess maybe this is speaking from the defense side, but you know what, you've been handed this case, and maybe you're having an ethics issue with it. What's your advice to the young lawyer?
It's a whole nother ballgame. Ethically, you got to be very careful, first of all, before you accept a case. If you don't find you're capable or competent, you should not take the case. You should seek other counsel to assist you in preparing that case. But I always was blessed to have cases that I had. Again, starting as a trial attorney in the DA's office, you have that going into your private practice.
Right.
DAs don't have a choice. Public defenders don't have a choice. You're given these DAs these days 25, 30 cases a day.
Yeah.
And here you go. This is what's on for today. So these kids I do a great job. They think on their feet.
Yep.
They have to. And it's a big part of it, being spontaneous and reacting in the present. So you're being in the present a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's interesting. There's certainly no shortage of excitement, I would imagine. I'm sure you've heard every kind of story out there and taken on all sorts of cases.
I have. I've done a lot of crazy things, as a prosecutor especially. I had some major felonies, murders, armed robberies. Years ago, I remember one of my cases, it was Haverhill, Massachusetts, when I was a young DA. And this guy was known as the Pizza Hut Bandit. Well, he would literally walk into Pizza Hut in the middle of the day, but with a mask on his face and a knife, and he'd robbed the place. He did it 3 times.
Wow.
And we finally got him through some very creative detective work. They figured he couldn't just disappear in thin air. He had to live in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And the guy had these very distinctive eyes. All the witnesses said he had these really big, brown, distinctive eyes. One of the witnesses was a waitress, and she described it as big brown bedroom eyes, and he had to walk like John Travolta. This is when Travolta was huge.
Yeah, yeah.
So the detective actually went to the high school yearbooks, because he assumed this guy has to be in the neighborhood to know the area well.
Yep.
Covered up the faces, just showed the eyes. 2 witnesses picked him out.
Wow.
And went to trial, and he was convicted.
No kidding.
I prosecuted that case, the Pizza Hut Bandit.
Wow, but Pizza Hut Bandit. What year was that?
Ago. Oh, my Lord, that was probably 1981, 82.
Wow.
Yeah, I was in Superior Court in Salem at the time.
Wow, I'm sure a lot of people remember that one. Well, that is great. That stuff happens every day, that kind of detective work, though, doesn't it? I mean,
oh, yeah, these guys. So it's a team. The DA and the police officers work together.
Yeah.
Everybody's a team. You have to be.
Yeah, and, we talk about police work on a day. We're in the wake for Officer Gannon there out in Yarmouth.
God bless him, man, and his family. That's terrible. That's terrible.
And the funeral is tomorrow. I know there's police officers coming in from all across the country here for these for today and tomorrow. And that is one thing they always, the police officers always do that right. The funerals, and as far as the respect level, it doesn't get much higher than that. But very sad story there. But we'll end on a more uplifting note. Let's finish with a little music talk, Chuck. So what's you mentioned, we can mention where we can see John. You guys, next chance to see you again is?
Oh, I think it's July 19th. We'll be playing at the West Newbury Summer Concert Series.
Yep.
John Curtis will be joining us that night.
Very exciting.
That's a Thursday night, July 19th. And I think John Curtis is actually coming in maybe in August of that same summer concert series. And, we may play before that, depending on there's a need and a cause. Someone gives us a call, and, we need to raise some funds. And
wait for the phone call.
And we'll get the guys going and hopefully make it.
Cool. What's the, you guys ever think about doing a little two-man thing? You got John on guitar, you a little percussion, just a little...
Well, we'd love to do that. John and I do studio work together. When I put my songs to music, I often go in the studio with him.
Yeah.
And it's fun, because he'll do it all. He'll do harmony with me as well.
That is fun. What's that like, recording a song with another person?
It's a blast. Our band, Thomas Machine Works Band, has one album. It's called Music for Some Occasions.
Yeah.
2001, it went out. It came out, and I think you guys have the album because you played some of our songs on this station.
I think you're
you
right.
again for playing local music. That's great.
Sarah Hayden's big on that. Give Sarah Hayden the props.
It was awesome, Sarah. Thank you. It was awesome. But it was a process. It took us like 6 months, and it should have taken us maybe 2 months. But
isn't it funny? Some people can do a record in 6 days. Some it takes 6 years. You know.
Well, those damn day jobs getting in the way. That was our problem.
Yeah.
You know, we'd find time.
That is too funny. Well, it must be fun though, crafting a song and working out the kinks and sitting down with somebody like John must be fun to just.
I love that process of creating a song and going to studio from finish to end. It's a blast. And Father of the Bride is one of my favorites that I've written with him, and that's been played at several weddings. My niece, my goddaughter, actually chose it as her father-daughter dance song, so I was honored to have that played at the wedding.
Oh, that's very nice.
But I also have it for sale on the internet. And I've sold streaming videos and songs all over the world.
Yeah, what's the easiest way for people to find the music if you want to hear that?
They just go online. Any online store will have Father of the Bride, which is a great father-daughter dance song. It'll just look under Chuck Rotondi, and the spelling is Rotondi, Chuck, and you'll see it.
So for any dad that's about to have...
it's a great father-daughter dance song. The night it was played, I swear, most of the men in the room were crying. And I have 2 daughters of my own, so it was easy for me to write.
It's close to home, yeah.
First few lines, it's time to let you go. Another man just stole the show.
Yep.
I think you've heard the song. I think I gave it to you.
Yep, you did. I heard it. I heard just on the way over. Actually, I had it playing. Yeah. It's a beautiful song and a cool album. Actually, I like the mix. It's good.
Thank you.
And we'll check you out one of these days out there on the town somewhere.
I hope
so. Chuck Rotondi, thank you so much. A lawyer, a musician here in Newburyport. It's been a lot of fun. John Curtis earlier in the day. This was fun. 2 Tuesdays in a row of music. I love that. It's been a lot of fun here at WJOP Radio. Big thanks to David Kramer, producer today, Sarah Hayden, who's getting all this local music in here. Thank you, Sarah. My name is Drew Moholland. Join us Thursday, 3 p.m., same time, same place. Again, big thanks to Chuck and John. It's been a lot of fun. This has been Afternoon Drive on WJOP Radio. My name is Drew Moholland. We'll see you next Thursday.